Hello and welcome to an all-new Unbiased Gear Review. Today, we are reviewing the Special Edition Little Crow by Siggi Braun. So how's this for a cool spec sheet? Every Siggi Braun comes with a certificate from Siggi himself that has all the specifications of your particular instrument on it. This particular guitar has a red alder body with a beautiful quilted maple top on it. It has a multi-piece neck which is bolted onto the body in a very unique neck joint that is something that Siggi himself developed. But a multi-piece neck that is Ferro, Walnut, and Maple. The fretboard is Ziricote with an awesome inlay pattern on it. We have locking Schaller tuners, a Gotoh Tune-o-matic with string-through body, Siggi's favorite humbuckers, which are made by Haeussel, master volume, master tone, and a 5-way toggle switch. So just a little bit of backstory. I was very fortunate enough to meet Siggi and Roman at the NAMM convention this last winter in Anaheim. Siggi is a company that I've always been rather curious about because one of my favorite guitar players of all time is Mr. Victor Smolsky. That was kind of my introduction to the brand, is seeing him play those awesome guitars in like the Rage Live DVDs and in the Rage music videos. So I was always kind of curious. I really wanted to check one out. Finally got my chance to at NAMM, and they were incredible. But after conversing back and forth with Siggi a bit, as well as with Steve and John associated with Red Dragon Guitars, it's very, very cool that now I was able to get my hands on a couple for review, including this Little Crow Special Edition. So let's go over some of the things that I absolutely love about this. The fretwork is always the first thing that I call out because, as you guys know from me, if a guitar has shit fretwork, it's not something that I can let go. Absolutely zero worries with that here. The frets are just masterfully crowned, very, very level, just perfect, no fret buzz whatsoever. The fret edges are nice and rounded, not super rounded, but they're just kind of nicely tapered off a little bit. And the edge of the fretboard is also rolled off. In addition to that, it almost looks a little scalloped when you look at it up close, but it's not really scalloped. It's just the way that the fretboard edge looks with how it's rolled off. It makes for very, very comfortable playability. Speaking of comfort, the neck profile is a little bit thicker C-shape than what you would typically find on maybe like a Super Strat or something like that. But it's something that's very, very easy to get acclimated to. Guys, if you're coming from more of like a Gibson or PRS school of playing, this should be super comfy, super easy to get acclimated to. Guys coming from more of a super strat like Jackson or Ibanez school of playing might take a little bit. Super, super comfy once I got used to it. The finish on the back of the neck is just beautiful. It's one of those awesome satin finishes that is just so smooth to the touch. Really, really fast playability. So let's talk about this awesome neck joint. This is something that Siggi himself developed many, many years ago. It is a bolt-on, but as you can see, it bolts to the bottom of the body. This allows for there to still be very, very awesome access to the upper frets here with this smooth neck heel like you would see on a neck through, but it has all the great properties of a bolt-on design. For the sake of repairs, you can remove the neck if you need to, or also what many would contend is that there tends to be a little bit less sustain, a little bit more articulation. Sustain, as awesome as it is not always the best answer. Sometimes you want something like a bolt-on design that makes the notes a little bit more articulate, makes the notes ring out a little bit less. And it's really awesome how Siggi has found a way to basically combine the best of both worlds. Continuing with the playability piece, one thing that's really cool about the Tune-o-matic bridge is how it's rather sunk down super close to the body. It's not a recessed Tune-o-matic like you would find on maybe a mayonnaise, but it is super duper low to the body. It's very comfortable to play, especially when you're playing palm mutes. This guitar does have a carved top design, but it's not as pronounced of a carve as something like you would see on maybe like a Les Paul, for say, like an ESP Horizon, for example. This is a little bit flatter of a carve. It doesn't really draw too much attention away from the beauty that is that quilted maple top. The body shape is definitely, I understand it's probably an acquired taste a little bit. Me, myself, I found this to be extremely, extremely comfortable, especially while playing in the classical position with it resting on my left leg. Moving on to some of the more aesthetic things about this guitar, I've already talked about how it's got this gorgeous quilted maple top. But there's also a few other appointments to it that, from a visual standpoint, are just really, really nice. For starters, the pickup rings are not cheap plastic pickup rings. They look to me like they're ebony pickup rings, which is a very, very nice aesthetic touch. The knobs, this can be aesthetic, but this is also a matter for comfort and playability. The knobs are recessed into the body a little bit too. I think it looks rather cool, but it also keeps the profile of the knobs a little bit down, so to speak. The quilted maple top is still on the headstock as well, and what's really cool is that the truss rod cover is out of the same quilted maple and made to match the headstock cover, and also sits very, very nice and flush with the headstock, which is very, very cool. The guitar has a beautiful natural binding effect that goes around the whole instrument. If there's anything whatsoever that can be called out on this instrument, this is it. There's just a little teeny tiny bit of a paint masking issue that can be found with some of the natural binding. Right in here in the cutaway, and also there was another section more towards the bottom of the instrument, but that's really it. In all honesty, this is a masterfully crafted instrument, especially as far as just a craftsmanship perspective. Just everything that went into this, from the fret crowning, from the finish work, to the choice of woods and materials and components. It's probably one of the single nicest instruments I've ever had my hands on, let alone had a chance to review for you guys. Moving on to how the instrument sounds, I have to admit I'm not familiar at all with this pickup company. Haeussel, pickups apparently is a company that's been around for a while in Germany. They have a wide variety of models that are available. These two pickups that are in this guitar are pickups that seem to be exclusive to Siggi Braun instruments. They are known as the Siggi's Favorites, and I have to admit they have a really kick-ass organic tone to them, especially in certain tunings. I did notice when I was initially setting this guitar up after receiving it and getting it ready for this review video, I had set it up in just E standard, and I was going to do a song in that. And I was like, wow, these pickups, to me, I'll be honest, they didn't really sound all that great in E standard. Drop it down a half step, a little bit better, still not all that great in E flat. But then once you got it down to D standard, it's like these pickups came alive. It was really weird. It's kind of similar to what Elysian pickups do or what instrumental pickups do, where in certain tunings, those pickups just tend to come alive and they sound absolutely incredible. That was definitely the case with these pickups. As soon as I got them to D standard, oh man, so good. Just really meaty palm mutes, plenty of low end presence, and just the right amount of mid-range hump. Oh, it's great. It sounds absolutely fantastic in this tuning. What's really cool and should be also pointed out too, well, I should say this was something that took a little bit getting used to, and it wasn't anything like what I was really expecting. The 5-way switch, like you would think, okay, it's a guitar with 2 humbuckers. It's going to be something like bridge, single coil bridge, mid, single coil neck, neck, right? A little bit different than that. So obviously bridge, middle, neck is still the same, but in position 2 right there, instead of being a single coil neck, it's actually the 2 inner coils of the humbuckers together. And then move it to position 4, and it's actually the 2 outer coils. Now, there is honestly such a sonic similarity between those two sounds that I don't really tell a whole lot of difference between them. And to me, personally, I can do without one or the other. I will say, though, that position 4, where it's the one that's closest to the bridge right there, these 2 coils are the ones that are going there. I found that tone to be so useful, I made sure to include it in the song that you heard at the beginning of the video. I just thought, man, that sounds really cool. There again, my Victor Smolsky fanboyism coming out. It sounded like something that he would have done during a single guitar part during like a Rage song. So I was like, man, that's super fucking awesome. I've got to incorporate that into the song. In terms of the tone overall, I found this thing to be super duper useful. It's something where, although I didn't gel with the pickups right off the bat, I got very acclimated to them. And listening to the song at the beginning of the video, I think they sound super awesome. So my final thought, this guitar is a complete fucking winner. I absolutely love this instrument. I can't stop playing it. I was joking around on Facebook earlier in the week that I was stalling doing this video because I was just having so much fun playing it. But man, dude, this is absolutely awesome. I'm really really happy that I had the chance to review this for you guys. If you like this exact instrument, it is currently for sale at Red Dragon Guitars in South Carolina. You can find it for sale on reverb.com as of this video's being posted. I would really, really, really recommend checking out this company, checking out this instrument if you're so inclined. I mean, it's so nice. Everything about it, just the craftsmanship, even down to the inlay work. Some people don't like a lot of crazy inlay work, but man, this is really fucking well done. Man, it's just beautiful. It's just gorgeous to look at, and it's even better to play. Seriously, check this out. So I hear what you're saying. You're saying, Arnold, what are you drinking today? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Today, I am trying Chocolate Orange, which is an imperial stout from Southern Tier Brewing Company. It is labeled as an imperial stout, but a dessert beer with notes of chocolate and orange peel. Pours pitch fucking black with a very, very slight tan head to it. Ooh. Very creamy, chocolatey taste, a little bit of espresso in there, a lot of orange. Very good. This is something I could drink all the time. It's just that kind of perfect stout that isn't too bitter from alcohol. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it. You can definitely tell why they call this a dessert wine. So let's see. It is a 10% alcohol by volume. That's it for me. Got questions, comments, concerns? Leave them in the comments section below. Otherwise, subscribe to this channel, like this video. There's many more videos to come, including another Siggi Braun video. That's right, I have a second instrument here for review, and I am looking very forward to doing that video. Thank you so much. Have a great one.